Hey, welcome to this video. We're going to look at how we use a rollback script when we're doing some remote configuring on our MikroTik. So what I mean by that is when you're doing some remote configuration, some changes, anything like that on your environment, when you're not directly connected to the router, even if you're using a laptop or a jump host which is connected and you're remoted into that, if you've only got the single point of entry via your MikroTik, you don't want to be basically doing anything that's going to lock yourself out, because that can cause a lot of issues if you're not able to get to site quickly, if you don't have anyone on site that can assist you. And I've been definitely in that situation multiple times. So a way to get around it is what I've called a rollback script. This is basically a commit confirm type thing. So what we're going to do is the script will be run via a scheduler, which for a predetermined time, and then if we don't cancel it, it will basically revert back to a backup configuration that we take. So what I've done is I've created this script which basically ties everything together. The link in the description below to this page I put together, and basically I'll show you the script at the end is all here in one go, and I've kind of broken it down here as how it basically works. So what we're going to do is effectively, the first bit is all about making sure we get timestamps and timings all right. Then we're going to do a backup. We'll take both a backup and an export, and then we're going to create a temporary admin user. So the reason for this is, I can show you on my MikroTik here, which I'm going to use as the test. If I do let's just do a system backup and give it save and then name test. Okay, so as you can see in my files, I have a test backup created. Now let's say I want to load that backup load test. It's going to first prompt me for a password. So I'll go ahead and put the password in. And now it's going to prompt me for another input from myself, which is going to be, do I want to do this? Yes or no? So that's all well and good if you were doing this live, but we're working from the scenario where we've lost access to this router. We have no way of communicating with it. So what we want to do is revert it back to a point in time where we know that it was accessible. So then we could find out, what change we made that broke it. If you're doing anything to do with the routing and you lose access, if you're doing, even with a MikroTik, you can accidentally just hit the delete key and it will remove something from you. You can use safe mode, but the problem with safe mode, if you are doing something where you might temporarily just lose access briefly and your Winbook session closes, that's going to revert all those changes back. So you're not going to know exactly if you did something that broke it, or it's just that slight blip has then undone everything you've already done. So safe mode is great, but it's not the ideal situation when you want it to actually keep what you've done. You just want to revert anything major that happens. So it's kind of like a safety net, if you like. So the reason for that is, as you can see, it needs that password. So we can get around that prompt, this bit here, if we run this in a script. And then to do it without asking for the password there, we can go ahead and type the password in here. So this test one, I'm just using admin. But if this was my real admin password and I'm saving it inside of a script, that's not great because it's now in plain text. You would need access to the router to do this. But if you had other accounts on here which were like read only or something, someone goes in there and then sees, oh, there's a script in there, and just looks at it and then sees that you've got your admin password for show there, then they've then got access to your admin. So what this script will do first is it's going to create a temporary admin user. So it will just give it something simple. It's going to give it a variable, and it's going to comment everything with this safe change temp and I'll go through why we do that later on. It's got full privileges and everything else, but this is going to then be removed if we either decide to cancel that rollback or the rollback actually happens. So then the revert script is basically going to do what I just showed you, that system backup load, the name of the backup I think that was taken earlier, and then that will force that reboot via a script. then the script is going to get run by these two schedulers. So I've done a 30 and a 60-minute one. So the idea being, if you're doing something at the very beginning of your change, which is going to be the more dangerous, if you like, you want that to revert fairly quickly. What you don't want to do is do a load of small little changes, which are fine, and then right towards the end of your change window, say we've got an hour, suddenly you make a big change that locks you out. You've then got to do all of that back again. Whereas this way, we can do our first major stuff in the first 30 minutes, and then we haven't got to wait a whole hour. And if we've only got a change window, obviously you want to bring this down so you've got time within that change window to then carry on. So you can adjust these as you like. These are just sort of examples. So you have this 30 minutes one, you do your first bulk of changes, you then cancel this one, and you've still got this 60-minute one sitting there. You just have to be very careful you don't forget to change this at the end, because otherwise you're going to undo everything. And then lastly, I've got this, it will create a cleanup script. And as I mentioned before, everything that's got that tag in it, that comment, is going to go through and it's going to remove all of that stuff. So the users, any of those backups you made, and all of the other schedulers and scripts. So basically, before you make any changes, you run that script. It's going to, then you can do your changes. And then if it's successful, you can run that cleanup after 30 minutes to cancel everything, or you can cancel just that 31, and then you can do that cleanup right at the end. So yes, it does cause a reboot. It will create this temporary user, and then each script can then run independently. And then just keep an eye on the clock, so you don't end up going, right, I've done my change, everything's working brilliantly, done my tests, and then a few minutes later suddenly everything just goes back to how it was. So here's the script. I know what I'm just going to do in a one go. I will copy this. And the idea, I've built this all in, so it's going to create everything for us. Go ahead and go to System, Scripts. Okay, add a new script, and just call this one Rollback. Paste the contents in there. Okay, we don't need to make any changes in there. So apply that. So that's now saved. And then just run that script. Okay, now let's go through what it's created us. So first thing it's done is it's taken two backups. As you can see, it timestamps them. It's done as an export as well, just so we've got some form so we can copy that off if we wanted to. So we've got it in plain text that we can actually view the config. Then it's created us these two scripts. So we've got the auto revert, the revert and the cleanup. So the revert is what's going to do our fail back. So that it's going to log what's happening, and then it's going to run that system backup load, and it's going to load the one that we just created there with that timestamp. Okay, and there's that password. So that password now belongs to, if we go to System Users, as you can see, I've got my full default admin there. And it's now created this full user, and it's given it again a random name, and that password will be in that one there. So now we've got the ability to run that with that password. And then lastly, the thing it's done is created us two schedulers, as I mentioned, so 30 and 60. And these are going to run only once, and they're going to run at that time. So it's added, if I do show clock, show time, as you can see it's 2:15. So the next one's going to be in half an hour, which is now going to be just before 3:15. Okay. So if we then do our first lot of changes, we basically come in here and just disable that one. And then this one is still active. If we're doing our changes, we've got a timer set on our phone or something that says, hey, you need to cancel that rollback. And you're like, I just need 10, 15 more minutes. You just adjust this time accordingly. Okay, simple as that. If you do find you've done a whole heap of changes, so you know that they've worked, but you still want to, you still got other things you might cause you to lose access, and you don't want to end up having to redo everything from the start, you can basically, one way of doing it is either to cancel both of these, and then you rerun that script again, and it's just going to generate, because these are done by their timestamps, they'll just create unique ones again. or you basically go to this clean up one, you run that script. Okay, it takes everything off, including our so what user open? No, system. See, it's got rid of that admin user. And now we do, okay, we've done those bunch of changes, we're happy, but I just want to have some more security. I'll just run that script again. And then it will basically populate all that out again. And as you can see, got new backups taken with slightly different timestamps, and everything's now gone to, it's gone slightly later time there. Okay. So let's show you what happens when it hits that time. So I'll just bring that time forward a bit. So we're at 14:17 at the moment. So let's go 14:18. Okay, so we've got just over half a minute. Now if I just go to system identity, let's just say add 123 to my host name, which is just test anyway. Okay, we'll just wait for that to count down. Okay, here we go. So you can see that timer stop. There we go. So I've now lost access. So I'm going to give that time to reboot. Okay, and we're back in. As you can see, it's reverted back to the host name, back to test, and it's removed all of our schedulers, all of our additional scripts. The only scripts that's left is our one here, and now that's ready for us to either remove or do it again. So I did it all in one, because if you're doing a large change, the last thing you want to think about is having to set all this up. You've got to think about setting up a script and the additional user, the schedulers, and all the getting the times right. You need to make sure that's all right. Whereas this one here, literally, so I can go in, I've got this change to make in this router tonight. I'll just copy all of this in my router, pop it in there, save it, and then just before I'm about to start my change, I just run that script. It does all it for me, and then I can confidently just work as I need to, just keeping an eye on the time, adjusting these times as I need to. And then if anything does go south, then it will just give me access again after those times, after those reboots. So obviously, like I said, it does cause a reboot. So if you are doing something on a live environment and people are using it, normally you would have some sort of change outage window or something, or you leaving them at risk. So if they suddenly do lose access, and it could be worse. It could be the fact that you've broken the network completely, and now someone's got to get in a car, a plane, something to wherever the location is. So it's waiting 2 minutes for it to reboot is a lot better than having to wait hours of downtime. So it's a small trade-off, but it's something else to be mindful of. But anyway, so if you find this is useful, if you've used something like this before, let me know. But if not, I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.